Yeah, well, Lethal Weapon was more of this. They were more, you know, like a real man, you know.
48 hours.
Yes, 48 hours started. Anyway, so I want to kind of, you know, but also it was very much in Lethal Weapon was very much Mel Gibson and then kind of support, you know, because Danny Glover is not in any way close to his level, you know, and he was the kind of but so we want to do this and it's, somebody called it an antibody film, which is I'm fine with. It's kind of twisting on that genre a little bit and playing with it, and I love. I usually don't quote critics because it's dangerous if you start doing that, but the one thing I read was I really liked how he put it, is that he said it's like good jazz, this movie.
You're always changing the genre.
Yeah,
drama, it's comic.
Yeah,
action.
Yeah, you might have heard the song before, but it's the way you get there is different, you know. And that's what I, you know, like, because you're playing with a certain shape. Buddy film, they have to become friends at some point. It's not a buddy film, right? If they don't work together, it's not a buddy film. But you know, finding, you know, fresh ways of approaching that and new notes in maybe a familiar theme.
You have some special friendship with Mark, I guess.
Yes. I mean, well, special, and we become very good friends, and we work.
You always want to shoot him.
No,
okay.
No.
I read an interview this morning. Maybe something wrong.
Well, I've never said anything like that.
Okay.
I would never say. I mean, I can't check everything that's written that I say because I would be spending more time than saying it. But the fact is that I would love to work with him again. But I'm actually making a film already because he's not, at least it's not planned that it will be at the moment, called Everest. So I think he's a wonderful guy to have and work with, and I think it's vice versa. But you know, you make deals like that, you know, you're not going to make films with other actors.
Essentially, the film says that the U.S. government is corrupted. I mean, at different levels, different CIA, DEA, and
well, let's put it this way: there are corruptions, you know, inside all the.
It's not that the whole system is corrupted, but there's rotten apples everywhere.
Yes.
But is that one of the reasons to have a chance to talk about this within Hollywood? Was that one of the reasons you?
Well, I kind of made a fun of it on Piazza last night. It's to criticize America is best to crawl into the inside of it and do it from there, because you know, making Icelandic films about America is, and criticizing America is not going to have anyone. No one is going to see it, so it's kind of pointless criticism. But going in there, you know, playing with the idea. It's not a political film in the sense, you know, like you could take the Bourne movies and even the political, even though they're more serious about themselves. You know, they have talking about corruption inside CIA. I mean, we don't have to look very far to see the corruption in CIA and Snowden, and it's the latest case. The Navy thing is based on real. I can't remember now the name of the Navy guy who was doing this. He was importing drugs to buy weapons to create black ops. You know, this happened just recently, you know, a couple of years ago, and so absolutely, and for sure. I mean, what the organizations do, and they do in this film, and it's very sensible the way it's approached. I like when Fred Ward, the general, when he's confronted with the problem, what does he do? He says, it's not our problem. We have a rotten apple, we'll cut it away. But they never deal with the problem. It's the same with the Catholic Church. I'm Catholic, by the way. I mean, when do they deal with the pedophilia? You know, it's when the media is you know, they can't hide from the media anymore. If a priest is caught, they make it disappear. You know, they don't you know, fix it. And I think all organizations work that way, and all organizations are corrupt on some level. I have never, I mean, down to the church, right? So, and by the way, my country is no better. It collapsed 2008 because of this, because of corruption, because of how everything is interconnected and everyone is, you know, has a finger in the pie somehow, you know. So, yeah. In this case, it's a kind of, we do it in a, which I like, because it's like the westerns, you know. You put everything in 1 minute. It's the bad sheriff or the mayor, and then the guys riding into the town, and you have the showdown. And I like it because it's kind of a stage to play with. I'm not saying this is exactly happening. This is the realistic picture of it. But you kind of, it's a metaphor. It's a way you can talk about things in a lighter form.
And this outsider, I mean, your condition of an outsider, it shows not only in that. I mean, it's also the way you shoot some things, in the way how you put the camera and everything. It's not polluted by the Hollywood way, probably.
Yeah. Well,
do you feel, I mean, that being an outsider gives you a different, perspective of the genre or about how to make films?
Yes, I think I just can't help it.
Yeah.
I think my humor is probably different than most studio directors in America. Therefore, I just can't help it. And my perspective is my perspective, and the way I'm not trying to be different. I am. And if you can, and I think some directors have, and I'm not comparing myself to like Milos Forman, but I'm just saying he managed to go there and make his own films inside the system, and they are great, but they always have, they're different, they have a different perspective, as you said. And I don't think he's sitting at home thinking, how can I make it different? He is different. He's brought up in a different world. And I think because Hollywood in some way isn't American filmmaking, it's world filmmaking. They are making films for the world. And these are the films that are shown all over the world. Every culture sees them. Therefore, the more perspective you have in them, of different people, Spanish, Icelandic, German, Chinese, then the more healthy that industry will become. So it is, and I often make fun of it.
And you have your creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. No one has stopped me yet, but I also am aware when I make a $60 million film that I'm not going to make a quirky little Icelandic art house film. It's not. I mean, then they would send me home and see you. But you know what you're signing up for. Even Scorsese, when he makes a film above a certain budget, he doesn't even have the final cut. So we're all tied to the fact that we have to deliver, at some level, the financial. It doesn't. If not, it's not going to work out. But I was offered to do Fast and Furious 7, $240 million, and you can have any toy you want. But I said no, because I know also that I won't be able to do this on making money, because it is a franchise that's working really well for them. They don't want to change it. So you just have to kind of pick your battles.
You work with the post, because I noticed in the movie the big scene like Reservoir Dogs by Tarantino, or the explosion like Rodriguez. You have some influence?
Well, there is it wasn't, those quotes are not, the diner scene is not necessarily, I said there's loads of diner scenes in American culture. And we're only talking diners, but it's more, there are Sergio Leone winks there to Once Upon a Time in the West, when the gun comes in. Yeah, for example, that's a little wink to that. There are Charlie Warwick, the heist is kind of reminiscent of that. When they rob something and find it's totally different. So there are, and the chicken shooting that some of the Americans have a lot of problem with. I read a lot of shocking articles about that, but by the way, Tarantino shot a horse in the beginning of his film.
It's real.
It's a real chicken, isn't it? No. It is, of course. There's no way, I'll never do that. But by the way, the most human way of killing a chicken is shooting it in the head, because it's the fastest death, right? Chopping its head off and making it run is not any better. And by the way, everyone eats chicken, so maybe get real, People are so, listen, that's the problem I have with Hollywood. Like, people have no problem with somebody, shooting each other's heads off, but you shoot a chicken and they go like, oh, they're shocked. It's like, really? What do you eat? Pasta all day long? So anyway, and that is a reference to an old Western. So I kind of, I wanted to throw it a little bit like a throwback to those times, when also the heroes could be a little cruel, they could be a little twisted, even assholes, If French Connection, he's kind of, dick, So I just think everything's become so PG-13 lately. Humor, the characters, everything has become like a James Bond movie. You know, there's a very good guy and there's one bad guy who's taking over the world. You know, with a couple of assistants, and I wanted to have it a little more, you know, not just a clear picture.
Can I ask you about Iceland? I mean, it's a small country, but in terms of the number of artists it exports to the world, it looks like there's a big amount of creativity there. I mean, music, you know, cinema, arts in general. Like, I mean, what do you think are there specific conditions for artists to grow, to
Yeah, I think what is very healthy for artists is that there's no class system in Iceland, basically. Everyone is born to the same class. And therefore, there is no one who says to a son of a carpenter, you can't be a musician, you know, or you can't be a writer because you don't have that education, whatever. Everyone has a chance in Iceland, and I mean it, pretty much. Everyone, the school system is paid by the government. Everyone gets the same education. I think Björk was a breakthrough for Iceland. She's my generation. She went abroad before me, and she's like, the whole world, like, first a woman, and we had a woman president and a woman star, you know. And it's, looking at that, everything is possible, right? After that, the sky's opened a little bit in Iceland, you know. And especially in the music world, I mean, now there are groups after groups after groups coming, and that's because everyone saw Björk could do it, right? I mean, there was no one before her, you know. And as I've said, the idea, if I would have said this when I was a kid, that I want to become a Hollywood director and direct as a wasn't, they would have put me to bed and given me some pills. You know? So it just wasn't. It was an idea. It's not a possible idea, you know. So that's. But now everything is open and there's just people are painting and, you know, it's like a little artist colony. You know? But
do you think the Icelandic character, you know, favors creativity? I mean, it's not just that you have...
Well, I mean, our history is based on that. The Icelandic sagas were written in 1300, one of the oldest literatures in the world. So yes, definitely there was already there. But we went to very humiliating, you know, Middle Ages, where we just, you know, lived in potato cottages and peeled our hair or something. And because of also the volcanoes, you know, like it was like that. But now, after the Second World War, which was kind of sad, we made our money in the Second World War, which was stayed outside of it. We were fishing, we're selling fish to Spain, for example, bacalao, endless. And after that, the country has gone like that, and it went too fast because that's why we crossed 2008. But I definitely, I mean, I am very lucky because I've been in the center of this creativity with these musicians and, you know, and the center of Reykjavik on the bar there, where all the artists, Sigur Rós and all these guys were hanging out. And it's great, you know. It's a very creative situation. And if you need someone, you just talk to the next table and say, hey, do you mind making the music for my next film? You know, like or you be writing it, you know, like it's just like that. It's a very small, there's a very competitive atmosphere, but at the same time, it's like a family. When outsiders attack us, we stick together. Inside, we can have our, you know, our quarrels, but to the outside world, we are very closely knit. I don't think it's this point.
I mean, you can, of course, but we're switching then, and of course, just...
Okay, you mentioned your next project, Everest.
Yes.
Is it your next...
Yes, it looks like
Can you tell us
on Friday. I know I'm shooting it in October because the financing is supposed to close on Friday.
About cast?
Yes, well, Atmos talked to Jake Gyllenhaal, Josh Brolin, John Hawkes, and Jason Clarke from the guy from Super 30.
It would be a big blockbuster like a Vertical Limits or...
Well, it's more, it's a real story. It's based on the same story as Into Thin Air. It's not based on the book, the Krakow book, but it's the same story. So it's adventure drama, you know, and blockbuster we'll see, but it's a $50-60 million movie, so it better be.
We will shoot it on nature.
In the Dolomites.
Yeah.
And
all will be real.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely, as much as possible. Dolomites and Nepal, and a studio in the UK or Iceland.